All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we are going to talk about Aaron Judge, talking about Juan Soto for the first time when he met with the media, since Soto left for the Mets. So, interesting comments from Judge, but, the media did ask him about what Soto said because Soto talked about how, New York is a Mets town and they have a great chance to win, all that, or better, the best chance to win, along the lines of that. And Judge said, well, that's his opinion. He could say what he wants. I definitely disagree with him. I mean, of course, Judge is going to say that, playing for the Yankees. Um, but, he also said it's going to be great having him in the town. We're going to be battling back and forth for quite a few years. He also said that he wasn't too surprised by it. Just by Soto leaving, he said that I think the Mets are where he wanted to be. I think that was what was best for him and his family. He got a pretty good or a pretty nice deal over there. I mean, you can't say no to that, but I'm happy for him. And I didn't expect Judge to say anything negative about Soto. And he also did talk about what the Yankees did this offseason, bringing in Cody Bellinger, bringing in Paul Goldschmidt, and he said they are going to add such a different dynamic to this team. It really lengthens out our whole lineup. When you have those guys batting in the middle of the order, a lot of good things are going to happen. You can't replace a guy like Juan Soto, but you bring in guys like that are all-stars, MVP caliber players. We did a pretty good job. And I do agree. However, as a Yankee fan, they are already dealing with the injury bug. Giancarlo Stanton is dealing with elbow soreness in both of his elbows, and he might not be ready for opening day, and who knows when he's going to come back. So it's starting already. But that's a separate topic. I want to talk about, Judge and Soto. And, Aaron Judge is all class. And I don't think there's anything that he said that you could take and say, nah, he doesn't really mean that. I think he does genuinely mean what he is saying. I'm not going to try to spin it and say, he's ticked off with Soto for leaving. Now, I know a lot of people were upset with Judge because supposedly he didn't talk to Soto at all in the offseason. Well, on one hand, Judge wanted to give him space, which I have no problem with. But Judge did say that, he did try to reach out to him, and there was that whole thing with Juan Soto, getting a new cell phone and changing his phone number, and nobody was able to reach him. None of his former teammates were able to reach him because initially we heard, none of his teammates talked to him in the offseason. And then we heard, oh, well, he actually got a new cell phone. And then people started reaching out to him. So that whole thing was very odd. But it does make you wonder, had Judge reached out to Soto sooner, could that have changed the tides and could he have been back with the Yankees? I'm going to be honest, I don't think so. Even as a Yankee fan, I always felt like, he's probably going to leave. I would lean more towards saying he's leaving than staying. I wasn't like a lot of these Yankee fans that were blindsided by it because I feel like there were a lot of Yankee fans that truly just did not expect him to leave. But I learned my lesson after Robinson Cano when he left back in the day. To be honest, I was more heartbroken over that than Juan Soto leaving. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm not upset. I definitely am upset. I wanted him to stay. I loved watching him and Aaron Judge bat back to back for one season. It was unbelievable, but it wasn't going to. It just wasn't meant to be over the long term. And are the Yankees better off without Soto? It's a tough question. It's a tough question because I like the moves that they made, but at the same time, losing that bat in the order is, like Judge said, it's going to be very hard to replace him. And you're replacing him with guys like Paul Goldschmidt and Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is far removed from MVP Cody Bellinger. Paul Goldschmidt is 37 years old, and he was very disappointing to start off the year, but had a better second half, so hopefully the Yankees are getting that version of Paul Goldschmidt and not the first half Paul Goldschmidt. And these guys are going to have to take it up a notch because, Giancarlo Stanton probably not going to be playing to start the year. And who knows when he's coming back. Like I said. And I think the key for the Yankees this year is the young guys. Jason Dominguez, Austin Wells, Anthony Volpe. Those guys really have to step up this year. I think the Yankees pitching is really good. I think this is the best pitching depth that they've had in a while. The bullpen is going to be lights out this year. The rotation is going to be strong. My concern is the lineup. Because they don't have a lot of depth. And when Giancarlo Stanton got hurt last year, the Yankees really struggled. It was really just Judge and Soto. Anthony Manzano in the chat has a couple of things to say. I wouldn't say the Yankees are better off without Juan Soto, but I think the financials would be better off without him. See, that I would agree with. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't want to keep him. I wanted the Yankees to keep him, and if they were able to keep him and they got him to that, that 760 for 16 years, right? I would have loved that. But at the same time, they didn't get him, and they were able to go out and address other needs. Because had they signed Juan Soto, they wouldn't have been able to get Max Fried. They wouldn't have been able to get Devin Williams. And Devin Williams is a legit closer. Max Fried is a great starting pitcher. Pair him up with Garrett Cole. And now you got this 1-2 combo that's, if they stay healthy, it's going to be one of the best in the league. And then you went out and you got Cody Bellinger. You got Paul Goldschmidt for 1 year. So I like what they did. I really do. The plan B was good. But now, I still think they need another bat. They might need 2 bats because if Stanton's out, he's a very important player. And, you miss him, it's like, how are they gonna replace that? I mean, I heard Aaron Boone talking about Dominic Smith, who they signed. I would not want that. I would not want Dom Smith being my DH because now this is like last year when J.D. Davis was the DH or Jahmai Jones was the DH. Don't want that. Now, he is a lefty, and for those that don't know, one of my favorite words is balance. And the Yankees in past years did not have balance in their lineup. Now, last year it was great because you had Soto and, Verdugo kind of fell off. Rizzo kind of fell off. But still, they got Jazz Chisholm, Austin Wells. There was good balance in the lineup. But Dom Smith, that doesn't do it for me. If he's the Yankees' everyday DH, that's a problem for me. And then Anthony also said, and I think also the Yankees want to build through their farm system and do what they did in the 90s, where they won multiple World Series with the core players that they develop on their own. I agree with that 100%. The problem is how the Yankees handle these prospects, and a lot of these prospects really don't turn into anything. Now, that doesn't mean that some of these prospects do turn into something. They do. Aaron Judge, for example, is a Yankee prospect. Austin Wells, Clark Schmidt, Luis Gil. It's a little bit of both. A lot of these prospects don't work, and that's what a majority of the fan base focuses on because, they've had it with the front office, which, listen, I've had my differences with the front office as well, but, they got to a World Series. Now it's all about getting back and winning it this time around, which is going to be tough. Also, Anthony says, I've noticed that with the Yankees and Red Sox recently that their lineup is not really that balanced. It's either dominated by left-handed hitters or right-handed hitters. And to be honest, I'd rather the Yankees have a ton of left-handed hitters because of that short porch in right field. Everybody talks about it, Everybody complains about it. Well, you have that advantage. Every team that comes in the Yankee Stadium has the same advantage with that short porch. But the Yankees, you go back to 2021. There was maybe one or two left-handed hitters in the lineup. One of them was Brett Gardner, and then, to be honest, I mean, then they went out and got Rizzo and Gallo to try to balance the lineup even more. But obviously with Joey Gallo, we know how that panned out. But you had all these right-handed hitters for a stadium that is built for left-handed bats. Now this year, yes, they lost Soto. Now Goldschmidt is taking over for Rizzo, but now Goldschmidt is a right-handed hitter, but it's fine. You got Cody Bellinger. So they have Cody Bellinger, Austin Wells, Jazz Chisholm, and Jason Dominguez. Jason Dominguez is a switch hitter. So you got 4 lefty bats, 1 switch hitter. And then, you got Volpe, you got Judge, Goldschmidt, like I said. I guess Oswaldo Cabrera is going to be the third baseman. Well, we'll see. It's going to be between him and, DJ LeMahieu and maybe Oswald Peraza. So we'll see how it goes. But the injuries already are concerning me. There's some injuries with the pitching, but I'm not really worried about that. The lineup is what I worry about, because if they can't score this year, I mean, are you really going to expect the pitchers to go out there and, give up 1 or 2 runs a game every single time? It's not going to happen. There's going to be some off days for them. That is where my concerns are. Anthony also said, well, Aaron Judge is an exception to the rule. I think he benefits. Yeah, no, Judge is Judge. There's no issues there. There's no issues there. He also said they have a left-handed hitter in there. Yep, Spencer Jones. But there's some concerns there with him because he's a guy that strikes out a lot. So hopefully, he has a bounce-back year here, and then maybe he's impactful for the big league ball club at some point down the line. So, but yeah, kind of got off topic, but this is an Aaron Judge, Juan Soto topic, but Anthony, I appreciate the comments in the chat as always. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about what Judge had to say. What are your expectations for the Yankees this upcoming season? I think they're going to be good. I do. I think the offense is going to take a little bit of a step back without Soto, but maybe it surprises people. If the young guys step up, maybe Cody Bellinger in Yankee Stadium for a whole year, he puts up big numbers. Maybe they surprise me, but that's my concern going into the season is the lineup. So we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we will talk about Aaron Rodgers. More Aaron Rodgers talk. Was pleading for the Jets to keep him. And then we'll just kind of get into the conversation of which veteran quarterback would you rather have amongst the three main guys that I wanted to talk about. Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Matthew Stafford, who possibly could be traded, but I still think he's going to stay with the Rams. So we'll get into all that when we come back. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast.